Something like that.
Jeep, right? What movie did we see today?
I believe we saw The Upside.
Yay! Nate and Max go to the movie part 2, where you saw The Upside. Wow.
You want your heart warmed? Go see The Upside.
Okay, if you keep doing these heart puns,
I can't. Kevin Hart's in the movie. I will make all the heart. I will give you a heart attack. You're all gonna hate me. You're all gonna hate me before this is over.
And I also will say this: we're doing this from my new car that I just picked up this past week, so definitely a lot different. It definitely feels a lot different.
It's warm in here.
It's actually
which is really helpful because we live in Wisconsin, and if you pay attention to the weather lately.
Well, you have to bear in mind though, because when this gets put out on Patreon, they're not gonna know.
Yeah, but okay, we're recording this in was it February 2nd?
This would be February 2nd.
Yeah. Okay, so just if you live in the U.S. and you're watching this, just think back to what the weather was like at the end of January and early February, and then remember where we live.
2 words: polar vortex. That's all you really need to know.
I got 2 more words. What? -60.
Yeah.
I mean, not today. Today it's like, heat wave. It's like 5 above.
No, but we had a good heartwarming experience, good heartwarming deal. I mean, we saw, last movie we reviewed was Glass. It was awesome. And now this one we're doing The Upside, which honestly, I will say this, working at the theater, a lot of people really loved to see The Upside. They had positive things about it. Honestly, I can see why. Holy crap, it was actually really good.
Oh God, yeah. First off, I mean, I will freely admit, and I know I might catch a little flack for this, but yeah. I'm not the biggest fan of Kevin Hart. I've seen some of his stand-up. A lot of it I kind of heard before. Seen a lot of his movies. He's not bad, but he's not. I want to see more movies like this. More movies where he's kind of getting the dramatic side out, because he was really good. Like, all the acting in this movie was fantastic, like above board. But like, I went into this, expecting, okay, I'm watching this for, Nicole Kidman, Bryan Cranston. No, Kevin Hart, like, please, more dramatic roles for Mr. Hart. Like, the dude has the chops for it. Like, he's not, like, do not typecast this guy as just comedy. He can do his shit.
No, definitely. Yeah, let's talk about that first. Let's talk about the acting. Kevin Hart, as you said, more of a comedy-based guy, but honestly, this is one of the first few times we actually see him in a more serious role. I had a little bit of scaredness to me because of the fact that they said that he was a convict, and the last time we saw him as a convict was Get Hard with Will Ferrell. Yeah, that just no bueno.
No.
But no. Honestly, he played the convict role pretty well.
Played it real. He felt like this is a guy who's made mistakes. He did his time.
It felt like he actually had this background, and he actually was able to play with it throughout the movie, not just certain points of it.
Yeah.
It still felt like, I mean, they kept bringing that up. Well, he's a criminal. He has this charge. He has this charge. And some people are just like, we're looking past it. That's the one thing I really loved, is that, yes, I take responsibility for what I did in the past.
That is my past. I own that, but I'm moving forward.
And that's really cool to see that, because, it's not like he was like a mass murderer or something like
that. No,
that.
he was a con artist and a thief.
Yeah, that was really what it was. And you know what? It worked. It worked very well for him. He did actually have some pretty good funny one-liners here and there. I think it was also just the way the tone of how he did things was just automatically funny, because you still had to remember, Kevin Hart being serious, but it's also Kevin Hart, who is legitimately one of the funniest people on this planet right now.
And like that, and even though this is more of a dramatic role, he still has comedic parts to his character. And like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of his comedy, but he had me laughing my ass off. Like, not just him. Like, when this movie was funny, I was like rolling in my seat. And when it was, trying to be dramatic or kind of get you emotionally invested, it's like, this movie gives you the feel. This movie hits you. Like, oh God, the date at the restaurant.
Oh, jeez. And that goes into Bryan Cranston, who literally in this entire role, he only had to use his head. Basically, his neck, his head, that was it.
He pretty much had to potato sack himself.
Basically, applauds to Bryan Cranston for that. Holy crap, for doing that and to have that kind of patience. Oh, I'm sure that, there was those moments where he probably burst out. It's like, I can't do this. I need to walk around.
Yeah, I need to get up and move. Like, but for those of us, who aren't paraplegic, quadriplegic, you know, you have those moments where it's like you're just laying there or sitting there and it's like, okay, I need to move, like my body feels itchy, that kind of thing. Like, I don't even want to think about how many times that must have happened for him playing this guy. What was it, Philip Lacoste was the character's name?
I think so.
That's the other thing. I remember, like, every character name in this movie. Like, that's actually kind of rare for me to remember their names right off the bat. But, you know, you got Yvonne, Del, Del's son Anthony, Philip. Did they ever say Del's ex-wife's name? You know, his son's mom?
Yeah, it was, but I
think they might have said it, like, once.
Maybe once or twice. Maybe that was the reason why we can't remember it
Probably.
as much.
Like, his son was admittedly, like, the bigger focus there. Like, I mean, it... And I know some people are going to be like, well, that's kind of like maybe they kind of wasted the mom character. It's like, there's only so much time. And the few bits you get with her, like, oh, God, like, the Get Out. Not the movie Get Out. There's a moment where, like, Del comes to their apartment because, you know, he's paying the child support and all that. Well, he hasn't been at that point. And, like, they have this argument, and she's like, get out. And the entire, like, interaction there is just... Ooh, like you understand both sides of it. Like there's no bad guy. Like usually a lot of movies they'll try to like frame the mom or the dad in that situation as a bad guy. They don't.
It felt real.
They did a great job of like, yeah, maybe she's being a bit harsh. He fucked up a lot and has not been there. So it's like it makes sense. Like you don't want her to react like that. But how else would she? And like that is good writing. That is good filmmaking.
It really is. Honestly is. And
talk about pulling the heartstrings. They're pulling your heartstrings in like 5 different directions.
Definitely. I mean, again, can we again go back to Bryan Cranston? You were mentioning one of the pivotal scenes of that entire deal was the scene where basically we find out that he's talking to somebody by the name of Lily, who. You know, it seemed like, you know, they're going to have a good relationship. It seems like everything could be good.
Yeah, and like when they go to the date, you know, like obviously characters in, you know, wheelchair, quadriplegic, does the little lever thing with his chin. And like she even says, oh, no, you know, I saw an article, I researched it. And it seems like at first it's going perfect.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, she even, you know, helps him eat and all that. And you're like, oh my, and like you get really happy because you're like, oh my God, it's going to work. Finally, he gets to be happy. And then no.
Yeah, there was points during that date where literally it was going from like her peripheral vision where she's looking at either, you know, I think it was like she looked at, I think it was like maybe, you know, his face.
And then like the stain on like his jacket from where it spilled.
And one thing I was not expecting to be a pivotal line in which is very heart-wrenching, especially when you saw it coming, was the line of, you know, that, you know, I talked to my therapist and they said, and it's like, ugh.
Like she even says, I promised myself I would never start a sentence like that. And you know, the movie...
Even in real life, we would not want to hear that.
Like there's, and, you know, not throwing, like neither us or the movie are throwing shade at people who get therapy. Like there's nothing wrong with that, but it's one of those words have meanings, and when you start a sentence with, my therapist said, it's... and it's brutal. It is his reaction to it too. Like it's kind of silent, but his face just falls, and it's like, oh, don't do this to me, movie. Don't do this to me, movie.
And then before we get into Nicole Kidman's character Yvonne, can we talk about how well the chemistry worked between Bryan Cranston and Kevin Hart?
Oh my God. They felt like best friends.
It really worked because honestly, you know, at first it was just one of those things where
it's like a business thing.
Yeah, business thing where it's just like, you know, he's probably the worst. He's probably going to help me die. Okay, we're hiring him. That's literally almost what it is in the beginning of the movie.
Like that's
even Del, Kevin Hart's character, is just kind of connecting the dots. It's like
when he brings
me to fuck up.
Yeah, when he brings up the DNR, the Do Not Resuscitate order, like, you know, if I stop breathing, you know, don't do no extreme measures like that. Nice little, you know, factual touch there. Like, a lot of people think, you know, oh, do not resuscitate if anything happens. No, if it's no extreme measures. Like, you know, you can do the thing with, like, you know, putting an air mask over their face. That's not an extreme measure in that case. But he brings that up, like, you know what DNR is, and when he explains it to Del's like, that's why you hired me, isn't it? Because I'm the least qualified, and you're just waiting for it. You hired me to help you die, pretty much. And yet their relationship still, like, progresses beyond that point, because... when, you know, Del connects the dots, Del kind of gets in this, nah, fuck you, I'm gonna do this job, man. Like, and it somehow manages to progress from there. It's just it doesn't sound like it should work, but it does.
That's the power of drugs, baby.
That's the power.
I wish I was kidding about that, because
They get high twice in this movie. Just give me like 14 hot dogs and then one hot dog. Was it 1,500 hot dogs? And then when he hotboxes him at the party, and he just rolls out and he's out the back of the chair. Oh my God.
it's so amazing.
Bryan Cranston, ever since Breaking Bad, the man can't get away from drugs.
It's just amazing because, throughout the deal we see, the building of the relationship, as you mentioned. One that was actually a really pivotal one was when basically Del has the scene with Philip where literally he's thinking about quitting, and they have that scene where he's just getting completely fed up. He throws like the beeper that Yvonne gives him, and then throws I think it was like a bottle or something like that. But he also looks, it's almost like a what's the phrase I'm looking for? Telepathic connection that the two of them have. That's
Yeah.
where basically he's seeing that Phil, is angry, and this stuff is kind of helping him out. So basically, he
starts smashing everything.
He smashes shit, and he's basically saying like, "Oh, you want me to do this? You want me to do like this?"
The bull, I always hated that thing.
just all this stuff, and it's just so funny because basically he's, he's quadriplegic, but he still feels emotion.
Yeah.
And Kevin and Del is helping him feel that emotion because
And get it out. It's like cathartic.
it's one of those things where it's kind of scary, but also a very awesome scene.
Yeah.
Where basically it's like, oh, you're mad at this? Yeah, I'll help you break this. Boom. Want me to break this? Boom. Then there's a point where it's just like the portrait. No, not that one. What, this one? No, not that one. He's just getting more and more pissed.
And then it's like, he smashes it, and it's I still love that bit of like, forget her. Her? You sure this is a her? That's actually my ex-wife's, aunt. It's actually a very flattering portrait of her, and they both just start losing their shit. It's just, oh God.
It's just so fucking amazing. These guys, really like you said, we need more Bryan Cranston, Kevin Hart, and shit like that.
Yeah, and it doesn't need to be a movie like this. Like, I mean, it could be another movie like this, like a dramatic comedy, but it could also be, I don't know, a straight up drama, a sci-fi movie. You know what? Fuck it. Throw him in an action movie what the hell? We're getting a friggin' spin-off to the Fast and the Furious, apparently.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, like Hobbs and whatever.
Hobbs and Knobs or something.
Hobbs and Shaw. I'm not a fan of the Fast and Furious franchise, so I got no idea. But if we can get that, if they can give us a spin-off of that, and give me a Bryan Cranston, Kevin Hart action movie, I'd watch that twice, even if it sucked.
If Hollywood is going to give us Roman Reigns and The Rock in a movie, they might as well give us another Bryan Cranston, Kevin Hart movie. I mean, come on.
I'm down with that.
Just good. But yeah, the other, of course, the third actress who's basically involved in this that they mentioned, Nicole Kidman, who we've seen, and I just recently saw her in Aquaman. Oh my God!
Oh, that's right, she was. I completely.
Yep, she's Mama Aquaman. Might as well just call her that.
Mama Aquaman, really?
I know. I know.
Really.
I know. She
was badass though at the end there, where it's turns out she'd been living down there. That was. Damn, Aquaman's mom is hardcore. Do we need him? Can't we just get his mom to save the world?
So we kind of get the opposite of that in this movie. But
she's more like an actual human being.
Well, it's kind of funny because she's kind of like that little stiff and narrow kind of stickler kind of person who's basically don't hire this person because he's got a criminal record.
Yeah,
he's a bit of an asshole.
She is thinking of Philip's best interest though. She's she works for him, and she clearly cares for him. Not necessarily romantically. They never really kind of fill that one in terms of their feelings for each other. But regardless of what it is, there is genuine care there. So she just wants the best for him. But that kind of at first throughout a lot of the movie, she's very reserved. She's very. I don't want to say cold because she definitely shows emotion. The 3 strikes thing with Del. She gets pretty pissed at him, especially was it strike 2 with the beeper thing being in his shoe. It's you couldn't hear this is his lifeline, strike 2. And it's you get that, but she opens up, and the more she opens up, the more you see the depth of her character, the depth of her care and compassion, eventually for both Philip and Dell. And it feels natural. It feels like an actual human being slowly opening up to someone that they're kind of distant from.
She has layers, basically. We see her get the hard layer.
She's like an onion.
Yeah.
Shrek references in 2019! Yeah! Hey, we're probably getting Shrek 5.
Probably.
It's gonna suck.
It's just one of the things where she has layers. She starts off with the hard layer, and then, kind of moving on from that, still kind of medium up a little bit, not quite there, and then, get closer and closer, and you see that she does have a definite sweet side. She definitely does, have that kind of deal. She's kind of, in a weird way, she is kind of the glue that keeps this movie together. Does she
I'd agree with that.
Does she have a major role? No, but she's definitely one of those characters that is there to, kind of help with the development of the characters.
Yeah.
To help, progress the story a little bit. She kind of helps, tell the story quite a bit, especially the scene where she basically puts up she comes up with this idea of a surprise party for Phil.
I really thought that was going to turn out to be Dell's idea.
It was one of those things where,
like, this is going to turn out to be Dell, and she'll take the fall for it or something. But no, like, it was just straight up her idea, and I'm just like,
it's funny.
Damn.
After the whole angry scene, he basically says, you know what? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have taken out on you. And it's kind of one of those things where she even sees, his walls are kind of slowly breaking down. And I think that's where it starts to see a little bit more of her walls just kind of, getting smaller and smaller and, more attainable, I guess you could say. She definitely, oh my gosh. I think that ever since I saw Nicole Kidman in Batman Forever, I thought that she was only going to have that one hot role. But so far, she has probably two of my favorite roles. I mean, she's the mother of Aquaman, and she does this role as Yvonne, who's literally one of the, most pencil neck stiff, characters. But then, she opens up and she plays that role very well.
oh yeah. And what I thought was kind of cool was like it was very slow and it was kind of subtle, but like you kind of realize just how pivotal she is to this movie and how important she is to like the emotional core of it when way late in the movie and like Philip's doing the whole like he pushes Dell away and he pushes everyone away and what was it? It was Maggie, right? She came to him and is like he's pushing everybody away. He even got rid of Yvonne and like Dell is just like, wait, what? And we're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, that's when you realize, oh, shit, she's really important to this movie. Oh, damn. My heart, stop doing this to me, movie. You making me catch the feelings. That's not okay. I mean, it is okay. It is okay. Make me catch the feelings. Make me feel sad, like good, emotional, but at the same time, don't do this to me. Don't make me cry these tears.
But yeah, honestly,
this is good.
all in all, it was a really good movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, final thoughts before we go into our ratings. Fantastic movie.
God, this is great. I mean, you could argue it's a little cheesy, but I think this kind of movie earns the cheesiness.
Yeah, we also mentioned as we were stepping out, I mentioned the fact that, with Glass, yes, it had its faults, but it's still one of those things that, as you mentioned, they find a way to, kind of match or even cover up some of the negatives, is that...
They compensate.
Yes, exactly. With this movie, it's very hard to find, those flaws because it feels so real. Maybe it's that maybe some people don't like, is that, oh, this feels too real. Movies are supposed to take us to a faraway place.
I mean,
but then there's always these movies that people would want to watch and be like, hey, this is coming from, a certain viewpoint. Hey, this is, what happened.
Yeah, this is based on a true story.
I mean, if they're true to the, original, if they're true to the narrative, then by all means, go for it. Again.
Yeah, and sometimes real life, it's cheesy as hell. Let's be real here.
That is true.
Like, real life can be campy, it can be corny, and sometimes that's okay to have that in a movie. I mean, crying out loud, Star Wars is one of the most popular things in the world, and that is a movie series that has the exchange, I love you, I know. That is so cheesy, it puts this state to shame. And yet, one of the most successful movies of all time. Like, movies can be cheesy, they just gotta earn it. This movie earned it.
Yeah, no, I definitely do agree with that. All right, so let's go into final ratings. I started off last time, so I think it's only fair that you start off. What would you give this movie?
I always do a 10 scale, and sometimes I do, the 0.5. I'm not gonna do a 0.5 on this one. You know what? I'm gonna go 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10?
I really think this was a strong one. This is a movie I want to see again. After it leaves theaters, if I see this thing on Netflix or Vudu or whatever, probably more likely on Vudu. I'm definitely, put that in my watch list, watch it, later that day. Like, I'm going to want to revisit this. This was good. It gave me them feels. 8 out of 10.
Nice. Yeah, I'll kind of go around you. I'll give it 4 out of 5. I think it was just very well done. Directing was great. The acting was great.
Acting's probably the strongest part of it, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is that there's really no bad part for any character, even if they're just like have this one line.
Like,
it works.
I mean, hell, like, for crying out loud, everyone's talking these days like, oh, there's so many really good child actors these days, and unlike, in the past, their parents are actually, decent parents, so they're not gonna, grow up all messed up, and they're talented. The kid who played Anthony, Dell's son, another example of this. Like, honestly, maybe this is going a bit far. I'd say that kid was on, like, Stranger Things level. He was great. Like, he felt like, I grew up in a pretty poor area. I knew a lot of kids that were in his situation. I was kind of in his situation, and I looked at him and I'm like, he felt raw. He felt real.
He felt relatable.
Yeah, exactly. When even the kids are knocking it out of the park, I mean, you got to at least check it out for the performances alone.
Definitely. Well, that's going to be our review for The Upside. This is part 2 of Nate and Matt go to the movies. So, yeah, we'll see you guys next time for part 3. Bye.
Bye.
It's probably what men want.